Hello and welcome to tutorial 170. In this tutorial what we're going to be doing is using the price series provider to screen for a particular chart panel for a number of symbols. In this case I've got about 160 loaded in a text file which are read in using StreamReader. We then go ahead and create price series providers for each of those and set up update and state changed events, and when those events fire we calculate and look for this simple chart pattern for each of those symbols, and then if the chart pattern is found then we print the information in the print log. So that's essentially what we're doing here. Let me just show you the program. This will be available online, and by the way, please subscribe to this YouTube or Rumble or MeWe or wherever you're watching this channel, and also join the Marketplex email list. So what we have is StreamReader, as I mentioned, that is reading information into a token list, and then we're creating price series providers. So let's just look at each of it in turn. Let's start with the price series provider. So this is fairly standard syntax that you can get by going to Toolbox and clicking on the price series provider, with a few changes here. Notably the symbol, that's reading the symbol that we're inputting here into the method. And then we're going through setting up a price series provider for a 15-minute interval span. And we're using the start date of the chart this is applied to determine how many bars are uploaded. We're detecting whether we're using exchange or local time, and then we've got our two events. And if you're somewhat familiar with the new version of TradeStation, you can also use the toolbox and do this at the bottom of the screen and add your information to the price series provider. All this code will be available for download. We then have PSP load. Now, one thing that is different from sometimes you will see the PSP loaded is we're not going through and setting up some syntax like this. And the reason for that is because we're creating a number of PSPs, and if we do that, each time it sort of restarts and retries to load, and you can get into a never-ending loop. We're doing it slightly differently, as you'll see in a moment. So what we're looking for is both a state changed, and the state changed that we're looking for is the number 2, which is the PSP is loaded. And when it's loaded, we go through for each PSP and we check for a particular pattern, which is my version of the hammer and inverse hammer patterns. In other words, where there's a little body of the bar at the very top or at the very bottom of the bar. So that is when the PSP is loaded for the first time we check. We also use the PSP updated event, and we do this for every bar close. And because we're using several PSPs, we need to recognize which PSP we're looking at. So we do that by saying PSP underscore equals sender as type price series provider, and then we can go through the same calculation to look for this candlestick pattern, and if so we print the information to the print log. So that is the price series provider. We use a little method here which checks if the symbol is valid. Remember, we're loading up a list of symbols. To check each one, I've included a little routine here which is available on the TradeStation forums, which will determine whether the symbol is valid. And then we have our one statements. Well, let me just go past that one. We've got two one statements. The very first one clears the print log. It sets what the first bar DT is, bar date time, and that is we use in the price series provider. And then what we do is we create a token list, and then we go through the try catch end using the StreamReader to read in the file and to store that information into our token list, and then we close the StreamReader. So that is the first one statement. The next one statement is one that occurs on the last bar of the chart. In this one, we create a new vector, and then we go through the token list, and the token list was created here. It's got all the symbols in it. And I'm not sure if I showed you the symbols, but the symbols are just stored like so, just one per line in this text file. And we've got about, I think, 160. I've tested this program with about 160 in the text file. I haven't tested for any more. What we do here for the last bar on chart 1 statement is we go through the token list, and then for each one we check it using the check symbol, which is the method I just showed you above. And then if that is okay, then what we do is we add to a vector a PSP for each of those symbols. So then you can see for the output, and the market's not open at the moment, but you can see we get this output. So for each symbol, or for the symbols where there is a true or false for a high bar or a low bar, then we print those out here, and we can just test for particular symbols. So for example, I have another chart here open for CPU, and you can see that we do have a hammer pattern there for this particular symbol. And let's have a look if we can find another one here. So CDXC, I'm going to copy that. Yep, again you can see a hammer pattern. Incidentally, the two inputs for the program, if we just go back to our chart and go to studies, edit studies, and we double click here, you'll see we've got the file name and path. This is where the text file is stored, containing all the symbols we're going to be using. And then the second thing is bar percentage, and this is determining what the particular size of this hammer or inverse hammer pattern is. So I hope you find this useful. Again, please subscribe to markplex.com or the particular video sharing network you're watching this. Thank you very much.